So, hello everyone, welcome to the weekly websites call. I'll be your host for today. My name is Ishan. But yeah, I mean, we are missing quite quite a lot of people today. But yeah, there's a ritual before each and every call. We ask newcomers to participate, come introduce themselves, uh, and just let us know who they are and what they are working on. And yeah, so if there's any newcomer on the call, which I don't think there is, I'd like I'd like you to introduce yourselves. Uh, do we see any newcomer today?
Hey,
Mhm.
I can't recall. Suhail. Um, Actually, you could be any number of Suhails, but are you one that hasn't had a chance to introduce on this call before? Have you been able to say hi and just tell us your favorite color, where you work or go to school? Because Suhail, well, it's a rite of passage. You must be harassed at least once on the call.
I can see his mic is on, but you are not audible if you're trying to speak, Suhail.
What I usually do with mine is I just slap it around a little bit, just kind of give it a. That usually helps.
Yeah, but
Cool.
okay, cool. We'll go ahead. So regarding this topic, I'll talk about this at the last when all the other agenda items are done, because this is quite an endless topic. But yeah, Lee, would you like to start with your topic then, moving to a single category filter on the homepage?
Oh yeah, sure. So on and Ishan, since you're screen sharing, maybe if you don't mind, if you were to visit the Layer 5 IO website, um, I think right now your Chrome is what's being shared. So we're seeing a Slack tab.
Okay, you're not seeing my layer5.io?
Right. No, we're not.
Okay. My share was paused. I'm so sorry. Yeah, can you see it now?
There we go. Yeah. So there's an integration section in which there's I don't know, 10 or so integrations highlighted. And then there's a list of, you know, there's the ability to search through the whole list. There's categories to peruse. And there's an open mock-up that's been completed for consolidating the 4-row high categories into a single category or a single height row. And on either end, it would have arrows like a carousel, basically. So if you scroll up just a little bit, right here, these category filters underneath the search, on the home page, we have all kinds of things to tell people on the homepage about all the projects and the community and et cetera. And so we want to condense the display of the integrations on that homepage. Here on the dedicated integrations page that you're currently on, we want for the category filters to be expanded and currently 4 rows high, or however high they should be. So I think I know that there's been a design done and well considered for what that carousel would look like and how it's supposed to behave. And there's someone assigned to this, and I don't recall who it is in terms of implementation. But I wanted to bring it up as, well, a specific item that we should identify who's working on it and follow up with them. And then in general, we might also spend some time today following up on other open issues. I mean, we always do that, but I mean, following up on them in GitHub and just checking in with people and making sure they've got what they need and that they're still intending to work on the issue.
Yeah, right.
So,
I've got a couple of them. uh, like this one and this one. I was hoping that I would discuss it if we have time. But yeah,
Nice. Does
uh,
anybody?
yeah. Sorry, continue.
Well, yeah, it's just to wrap up the integrations topic. I'm trying to find who it is that's assigned right now. Does anybody know?
I think it's Kamal. Last time I checked, I have been through that pull request or issue, whatever that was. I
Oh,
think
I
it's
see.
Kamal.
Yeah, it's time to boot him off because he hasn't been around for at least a couple of weeks. And normally, if we didn't know, like, so Kamal, he's been very deeply engaged in the community. If it was someone else that so does anybody have the issue? Like,
I'm trying to search for it. Just a moment. No,
yeah, there are,
I am not able to find it.
yeah, there's a number of issues open on integrations. Here we go. Maybe I'll share for just a moment if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. So I'll paste this issue into the chat. Good. So I should have brought this up when I was trying to verbally explain it before, but yep. So currently the homepage has a stack of filters. We want to move to a single carousel, kind of like this. There is, Botme has done a mock-up specific for the Layer 5 IO website. It's hard to imagine that we don't have the design here, but it's the right time to call for participation. So I'll grab that, a link to the mockup, and I'll export the mockup and put it into the issue. Maybe we'll see if we can find somebody to pick that up. Suhail, yeah, I know that you're audio challenged, and but I don't know if you're here to contribute and if you have familiarity with React or a little bit with GraphQL or just Gatsby. That's the framework that we use on the Layer 5 IO website. This might be an issue that you're interested in. The same goes for Amit as well, or Amit. So yep. Go ahead. We can hear you, Amit, I think.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hey,
Hi,
Amit.
Amit. Are you joining the call for the first time?
No, I have been joining call.
Okay, sure, sure. It's nice to have you.
Yeah. So, hey, does anybody, Amit and Suhail, would either the two of you like to work on this issue, or feel like you'd be successful working on that issue?
Currently, I was seeing the issue that pre-commit hook, but it is solved by.
Oh, I see. Yep. Gotcha. So Amit, we'll have to find you a different one. But is front end your thing, or is React your thing?
I am familiar with React, but not with that Gatsby or GraphQL.
Yeah, got you. And so, hey, you can always use the chat if. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, your mic's not working. So, hey, going once, going twice. Okay, I'm gonna find wherever. Uh-oh. This looks like a blank page. That doesn't look good. How can this be blank? Yeah, on the issue that the issue about the integrations and the category filters. Oh, here we go. There it is. All right. So yeah, here's a mock-up of what it would look like to have just a single carousel, or rather a single row with a carousel. I think that's the only, here we go. It's a different mock-up. Same thing. Cool. I'm gonna screenshot this actually. Nice. Suhail, is this for you or no? No pressure. Cool. All right, I'm gonna drop.
Can you please open the screenshot, the design for the carousel?
Yeah. Oh, open back up. Open Figma back up.
Yes, sir.
Suhail said he can work on the issue.
Oh, okay. Cool. And Suhail, you're familiar with React, I suspect, which is great. Nice. Krishna, you wanted to?
Yes. What will we do if there are multiple filters are active? Like we would put them first, or this will be.
Yeah, let me go to the site itself, because I think it'll demonstrate what you're asking, which is whether
like the first five like we activate the 7th and the 8th one, and at the carousel the only 5 are visible at once. So should we change the position of these 3 or not?
Probably not. Maybe I won't express opinion. Like I think that would be potentially a really nice to have thing. So that, I mean, it's a little bit interesting in that if a site visitor comes and they stay on the home page and they don't click see all, they don't go to the dedicated integrations page. They stay here and they kind of arrow over, find a category, click to filter. If they clicked on platform, for example, if platform lit up with black and then moved all the way to the left, it might be a little, they might lose where they were. It might not be expected. They might consider that they were like halfway through sliding all the way to the right. All of a sudden they kind of start back. Either they're auto scrolled all the way back to the left, or all of a sudden the filter that they clicked is gone and they don't know that it's all the way back to the left. Like we might get ourselves in trouble with trying to make it nice. Or not, like maybe they're fine. Maybe they click, they can see that there's a transition that scrolls them back to the start. Like I would suggest that we keep it simple to start with, and get to a single row and then play with it, see if it feels good. And then potentially change that behavior to do kind of what you're saying. I mean, a different thing that could potentially be done, and Suhail, these are just kind of verbal notes for you as you think about this as well, is to the extent that this is a single column.
Or we can show the number of filters active.
Yeah, like the total number that are, yeah, kind of like in the search, if I type Prometheus maybe, or Prom. So the search might say one integration or one integration. And so kind of in a similar way, you could potentially show the overall number. I think there's a bit more room for that potentially on the dedicated integrations page. Yeah, those a bad idea either. One other idea to toss out there is, to the extent that someone's navigating and they only have one row, so to the extent that they're using this carousel, oh man, what was I going to say? That you can, you could indicate that maybe they had telemetry as one that they were filtered on, but it's out of view. Well, they've got like, this one clicked and this one clicked, and then one, they have a filter set, but it's out of view over here. Potentially you could light up the arrow just to indicate that there is another setting as well. To be quite straightforward, I would say, or quite direct, I would say, there's a bunch more important things that we should work on that well, at least that Krishna should work on some of the other projects that you have, like, but yeah, all of those are probably valid. I do think that a couple of them maybe come with a caveat.
Or else what we can also do is, can you go back to the carousel view? Yeah, what we can also do is, if for example the user selects platform, what we can do is we can kind of animate the platform and just bring it down a little bit and show that in a black background color black, that the user has selected platform, and a cross icon with it so that he can unselect it as well. If you can bring it to the top or the bottom.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that makes sense as well. That it would be like it's pinned, sort of like you've
exactly, yeah.
And there's a special place for what you have pinned. And actually, one thing that's missing in this mock-up is the fact that, well, there's this search. And if you were to do something like pinning the selected filters, well, you might imagine if the search bar was here, you might imagine you can give yourself a bit of room by squishing down, like reducing the width of the search, and then giving yourself some room to place those pins or those pinned categories. So if, like when someone pins one or two, the search gets squished down, maybe even all the way to the extent that it's just a magnifying glass, something. Anyway, yeah, I do advocate for starting simple to start with. So Suhail is listening to this and he's just thinking, oh my gosh, the amount of feature creep that just happened is unreal. And so Suhail's comment is that, we can give a filter, we could give a filter icon in which the user can click and filter, which would really condense the display of the filters. So if you're like super tight on room, which when do we get tight on room? When there's a mobile view like this. And so to Suhail's suggestion, hey, great suggestion. I think that's what is the intended behavior here. Basically a filter icon. And I'm not sure, does anybody else know if we achieved that already? So if I bring up Chrome, maybe this will give me a little bit better perspective. Oof, ouch. It's not horrible. I mean, it works. But Suhail, to your point, hey, this might be the opportunity to collapse this whole. Well, actually, what's mocked up is the fact that it would be collapsed. What's missing in the mock-up is if anything is to be done about bringing the like if the filters are all collapsed to a single button, maybe so too should the magnifying glass. Kind of maybe they would be beside one another. They're all collapsed. I don't know, food for thought. Wow, I didn't know we could talk about filtering and searching for this long, but there's a couple of other, this is an important thing for the Meshery project and for the MeshMap project as well. The integrations and the amount of integrations, and these are going to grow quite dramatically. It may be within the next couple of weeks, we'll be at about, well, potentially like 300, 400, 500. There's a lot. These are growing very quickly. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but if you play with these long enough, you might end up you might start to get some slowness. Or if there's enough of these on the page, we should really be concerned with lazy loading of the images, because that's a ton of graphics to load on single. And so there's an open issue that calls for that. As a matter of fact, there's an open issue that calls to rewrite this display. So right now there's an NPM, there's a package that's being used for this honeycomb, this grid that we're using. The package doesn't have the animation that we're using right here, which is fine. We just added that on top. But the package itself does seem to have some slowness. I don't think it's showing up in Chrome, but we may well find it in Safari, or we've seen it there. So if we go back to the open issues for integrations, filtering on integrations, I'll just put this in the chat. There's a few. So let me make the font a little bigger. So performance, that's the one that I was just referring to. One of the mesh mates, KC, he's giving that a shot. I think he graduates in December, I believe. So anyway, we haven't heard from him for just 1 week. But what we do want to do is, again, we're going to go through this activity of following up with folks and just making sure that they're not stuck, that they're not, they're actively working on it. Project section responsive. Okay, yeah, it's a different, separate. Okay, so here's the one. So Suhail, if you end up commenting on this issue, then we'll get it assigned to you. Integrations paid needs a better dark mode logo for CDK8s. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Background shadow being cut off. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, so this, if this package is rewritten, like then we can deal with something like background shadow being cut off. I don't know how well you can see it, but
I think we can also convert the part that is displaying the integrations into carousel, and we can do something like we can load the images only when the user switches to that part, and that way we will have a few images showing, and it will also take up less space.
yeah, those are good. So on the home page in specific is the most concerning with respect to both performance and it's an expensive land space, so to speak. Like there's so many projects here, so many people that are doing great things, so much to tell people that the homepage it's important to try to represent all that, but concisely. So what we've done, in part to your point, is we'll only show 2 rows here. And I think that's true. I think that's true even if you select like that you'd want to show everything. We stop after 10. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. All right, fine, 14. But to your point, like if it's left like this, and maybe they have, many more select or chosen, that we're sort of lying to them when we say, okay, for the ones that you filtered on, here they are. It's like, well, no, actually, there's a lot more. So if there was a carousel, Arunima, then we would stop lying to site visitors. We've looked at a bunch of different websites for a bit of inspiration with respect to how it is that we display these integrations. And one of the ones that has implemented their integrations view arguably the best, maybe, is make.com. They've done a pretty great job. So they've got a carousel for here. As a matter of fact, if we take a look and just, if we select enterprise, for example, and then we get enterprise out of the way, I've never done this before. Let's see what it does. Survey says, does anybody else watch Price is Right when they were kids? Yeah, good. Anyway, so you don't see the fact that there's no indication that there is an indication that there's more to view. Oh no, there isn't. Interesting. So, and they only let you choose one at a time as well. So, yeah, and they don't show you all of them. Like, I'm sure they really do have 1,000. And so I'm sure in any one of these categories that there's more than just what they're able to display. And yet they don't, all they do is just say, hey, look, if you want to see the rest. So if we click on it, what did we click on? File and document management. Yeah, it goes on for quite some long time. So Arunima, here's in part, it looks like how they're dealing with, I was saying lazy loading, and it looks like they're just making the user click to load more. Interesting.
Yes, I think this is a better idea, I guess.
Yeah,
I think even I have seen in most websites they give an option to load more if
Yeah.
the user wants.
Yeah, I would contend that it's like, why are you making the user do that? Why don't you comprehend their intent as they scroll? It's like, they get to the end. Like, hey, you should probably just show them more. And so yeah, I mean, like lazy load works very well for that, or sort of like an infinity. So invoke the load more for them, basically. What do you think about that versus making them click? Sometimes it's nice to have control, like to not sit there and keep loading on them. But so anyway, just there's a ton of ideas on what to do here. I think all of the ideas that you each have are really rather welcome. Like, but yeah, go do it. Let's do it. Like, there's a number of things that we've discussed in the past with other contributors about the integrations and things to do with them. So the search is new. We also don't have the ability to filter, like, hey, sort A to Z, Z to A, most popular, least popular, most recent to oldest, type of a thing. That would be a great thing to be able to have. There's actually a lot to do here just in this area. Arunima, like describing that lazy load, or at least maybe just to start with the load more button. Let's open an issue. Let's do that. I mean, that's so wow, my goodness. Ishan got me talking on integrations, and boy, I just want to shut up. I'll give you the the ball back, so to speak.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Lee. Let me share my screen. Next up, I think we have Krishna's topic. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so next up we have Krishna's topic on Layer5 iOS site. Krishna, would you like to go ahead with your topic?
Yes.
Would you like to share your screen? Or?
Yes, I'll share. So a small issue here is the logos are overflowing. And the second issue, like when we hover over the button, it looks like it is being disabled.
The icons overflowing, I think you can add a blur effect or some sort of similar effect on both the sides, left and right. But for the button, I'm not sure. I concur. I don't think, I mean, I would love to hear opinions on this. What do others think? What do others think on the button thing?
Like this button is having the black color on the font for the font. This also, and this is given white color for, and here also it's white. And now here there is no hover effect for the color change. All the buttons have the changing color. Here it does not have any.
So is there an issue open on this topic? I think this would be better
No, no.
termed if we say that every button has a different hover effect. It should be uniform,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, then you can open up an issue on this, I guess, because uniformity is important.
I think where the color is changing from white to black, I think that effect for me looks the best.
Yeah.
Yes, this one.
Okay, I will open an issue for this.
Yeah, you can open an issue for the uniformity of hover effect on the buttons.
And for the Mystery IO site, I've made a PR for the catalogs page. Now this page is responsive. What's the current? It's the current view for the catalogs page. I made it responsive and
Okay. Does anyone else have any opinions on here? I can please continue. Sorry.
I've changed the color for the buttons to light to dark, like it was light before.
Okay.
And like this I think it's 3JS here we use for this 3D view. It doesn't work in the smartphones. Like it's really tough to see in the smartphone what's this, and really tough to scroll here.
Okay.
If you try on this, if you try this on smartphones, it's really tough and you can't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, I propose to remove the integrations from the homepage of Meshri.io, and because it's its own unique immersive experience, that 3D visualization and the ability to zoom in, zoom out, and give you a whole new axis of engagement. It has this negative effect of sort of taking captive your scroll wheel. I mean, not easily giving it back. It's not obvious to the user that and so it's a cool experience, my opinion is that it's a cool experience, that the helix that we're seeing here is one of 3 ways that we can display this visual interaction. But that, for the reasons that Krishna is articulating, and the fact that we don't like to take site visitors' scroll wheels captive without giving them back, and we should move it off the homepage, put it only on the dedicated integrations page, that we would replace this Helix with just a static listing of, again, like 10 or so integrations, and tell them that there's a ton more. Go see them all on the other page. Krishna, if you don't mind, if you went to localhost 4000/integrations, maybe we both could see the fact that it's okay. Like, we can sort of assess whether or not it's okay to, like, if the only thing on this page, which needs some white lettering, is integrations. And I lied. It wasn't 3 ways that we can display this to users, to visitors, but 4 ways. So a table, which is what we're seeing now, a sphere, a helix, a grid. All of them are interactable. You can click on any of the cards. You can zoom in, Z-axis wise. Even go into the center of the helix and spin around if you want. And you can do that with all of them. Like, they're all 3D. So you can, and it just depends on, but from a mobile perspective, I think I have browsed it on my mobile. It's not as easy because of the touch interface and the way that, you might pinch zoom and other things. So it would, I think it is, or I would also, okay. So anyway, so I have 2 proposals. One is remove the 3D view from the homepage. So we don't take people, they're scrolling and all of a sudden they get stuck inside of the 3D view, and they kind of. The second proposal that I have is that we would add a 5th view to here. One of which is, the 5th one is just 2D, like a 2D table, like very, very straightforward, like helping people who just want to navigate it quickly and find, something that, a tabular format that only has 2 dimensions seems like it would help.
Like, we can create some 3D effects for the mobile and remove this for the mobiles.
Yeah, like just remove the 3D from mobile views. That probably makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, because like, yeah,
Like, we can do a small 3D animation for the hover effect for the mobile, custom CSS, but we can remove this from the small mobiles or small with devices.
Wait, did I hear you right? You were just proposing that if mobile view, on reduced, if we detect that the user agent is a mobile interface, or just that their screen is too small to easily navigate this 3-dimensional views, were you proposing just to have to remove the ability to have 3D and just have it static?
Yes,
That's okay, cool.
Or maybe we can keep an option, like by default, we can keep it simple in mobile. And if the user wants, then they can switch to the other view. If the user wants, maybe we can keep a button or something like that to switch to the 3D view. If the user wants, then, and by default, we can keep a simple view.
Okay. Well, I suggest that, we can even remove the integrations section on Meshery, because it as it is very sloppy. And now I'm on Linux, but I don't know what the issue is. But my scroll, whatever the effect is, not working. I just checked it out right now on Meshery IO/integrations. The scroll wheel doesn't seem to be working. Is not working. So what if we remove it altogether? Everyone is having their own opinions, but yeah.
Yeah, no, +1 for me. I would say I would augment that proposal slightly and say, yes, like remove the 3D version, but just have a 2D version that's pretty much like on layer 5 IO, where you're letting people know there are integrations and there's lots of them. And then like basically telling them to go check them all out on the dedicated page. But that's just my.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that
it is
sounds
very
good actually.
sloppy. It is taking about a lot of resources from the computer also, I think. I just
And
checked.
also like I like most people check websites from their mobile. Like maximum time, even we use mobiles for checking websites. We are not always on laptops. So it should be device friendly.
Yeah. I'll just take a note of the suggestion,
Uh,
which is cool. Any other?
Another thing that
Yeah, continue.
I've changed here is the toggle button for changing the dark mode and switching to light mode.
I believe it is the same one as which we have right now on Meshri.io.
Yes, I've changed it yesterday.
Okay, so okay, cool. Yeah, we have it merged, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, next we have Krishna. I believe we have covered all your topics, right? 4 of them.
Yes, yes.
Sure. Next we have Aruಣಿma's topic, which is modifying drop down for navbar. Arunima, would you like to go ahead with your topic?
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the issue, and this is how it looks. So I was just working on the drop down menu. Okay. So the issue was to first of all to reduce the width from 50% to 40%. Another thing is that the drop down menu should open on click of the text also, not only previously it was just opening on click of this button, not the text. So I fixed that. And let me see what are the other things done in this PR. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting a chuckle because it's just like, let's see, I fixed this, I did that, I improved this. Wait, hold on. What else did I do in here? That's great.
Yeah. So another thing is that I added this scroll bar for this, but I think Krishna was suggesting also to give a background to the scroll bar. So like any suggestions on that? Should I give, or it's looking good now?
Background would look better. Yeah.
Background. Okay, then I will add it today.
Yeah. And
There's,
also
It looks better without the background, but it might confuse the user whether it is a scroll bar or something else.
I think Krishna took the words out of my mouth. There's like, yeah, if you imagine having a skinny rectangular background to the scroll bar right now, it's like, it doesn't really aesthetically, it doesn't look better, but from a UX perspective, from the user comprehending what's going on, it's more intuitive. It's more what they're used to. So if you think about this a little bit more, potential other solutions like maybe an acknowledgement that this doesn't entirely look just like a menu currently, or rather it does look like a menu, although it's white on white. And like, if you've seen how pasty my skin is, I can tell you white on white doesn't always look good. Like what I'm trying to say is there's no shadow, there's no border or shadow, or like people aren't necessarily aware that like, oh, I'm looking at a menu and it's a selection of different. And so if there was a shadow or there was a border around this, it might also improve the aesthetics of, or not the aesthetics, the usability of the scroll bar, because then people would know, oh, I'm sitting in this rectangle already, and oh, there's a scroll bar on the rectangle. Oh, okay, now I like.
Yes, I think there was a border on the top of the menu. I think someone removed it, or maybe I removed it. by mistake.
And also, if you are going to have the navbar as it is now, I think that the dark mode switch should be still visible while the menu is collapsed. It should not be in the menu. I don't know how many of you all will agree, but
Yes, it is fixed.
Ajay, it is okay. Cool. Cool. Any other suggestions for Arunima, guys? No one. Okay.
Okay, so like,
Okay, thank
should
you,
I add
Arunima.
the background to the snap bar or let it be as it is?
I don't know. I'll offer a suggestion, and that might be that if you were to first is like to arrive at the answer about the scroll bar through first playing around with a border or a shadow or something that lets the user know, distinguishes the menu as a rectangle. I think you'll be in a different place when you start to really conclude on what to finally do with this scroll bar. Yeah. So
I think box shadow will little box shadow will look better.
Okay.
Cool.
So Suhail was, I'm just going to be the voice of Suhail on the call, which is, Suhail was just saying that having a gray background with a white text color, a gray background with white text color might be the way. I think he's referring to the menu itself.
Yeah.
And so if you switch into dark mode, that might be what's there. I'm not. So let's see. So we've got a dark background, light coloring. If you hover over the rows, okay, so we get green, cool, very good. If you go back to the light, okay, and then on those, okay, that's interesting. So on the single selection, on the direct menu items, you just get the unique underline. If you hover on community and resources, you get a.
Oh,
Okay,
there
if
is
you
no
hover on,
effect for this.
if you hover on the plus sign, do you get anything?
No,
No.
there's no hover effect for these two.
Okay. And the getting started is special. It's the primary call to action for the entire site. So it highlights differently. Okay. If you go back to the light mode for just a moment, what do we get when you hover over the rows again? So you get the special button. Okay.
And for this too, there is no effect. I guess for you also there is no effect. And for this, have this underline effect.
So that's just a good refresher to have that in our minds as you consider Suhail's suggestion, having a gray background with white text color. Like, yeah, the thing that gets in kind of convolutes that suggestion is the light mode versus dark mode. And so you have to consider that suggestion in context of light and dark modes. Good. Hopefully I represented Suhail well. And I suspect it's like he was sort of like, oh yeah, dark mode. Yeah, right. And then has to think about it more.
Yeah, I
Also,
hope.
I think, Krishna, in your video, I guess you showed how it will be looking if I add a background to the navbar, sorry, to the scroll down, right?
Where
I guess in the comments, let me just scroll down.
yes, I think I have added shadow.
Okay. So is this, no, this is not the video, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, this is the video. Let me show that so he's suggesting adding a background to the scroll bar.
Looks good. Looks better.
Okay.
From the current version, it looks good. But I think you should consider feedbacks from others as well, that maybe you can make your menu background gray, and what Lee said as well. So I hope you've got your feedback.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Varunima. I'll stop sharing just a minute. Next up, what do we have? Okay, so we don't have anything now. We are officially over with our agenda items, but I do have a couple of issues which are open for your contributions, and I don't see anyone taking those issues up. Okay. Did someone stop my screen share?
I think your screen share did stop. Yeah, it's coming back now.
Okay. So first of all, we have your PR again, Arunima. What can you share the updates on this PR? If you can.
I haven't shared the why and the details if I'll take on this.
Okay. Yeah, it's been like a month since this has been going. Oh, no, it's been 10 days. Okay, never mind. And then we have this issue. So I think it's been a month since we haven't heard from Utkarsh on this issue. Lee, do you know anything about this issue? Because you commented.
Yeah. I've seen Utkarsh really improve his approach to. It's very easy in CSS or in other languages to write things in a fragile way. For example, by specifying exact pixels or what have you, it's fragile because stuff changes. And then so you want to do a calculation, or you want to use flex or grid in terms of CSS. In other languages, I would use different examples. Anyway, I've seen him improve his code quite a bit. Although the site itself, Mastery.io, has undergone, well, something of an overhaul recently. And so I don't know that this is necessarily, I don't know that this is still relevant. And actually, Krishna Gupta is probably in the best position to identify whether or not this is complementary or there's just kind of quote unquote merge conflicts with his approach, because there's been a lot of changes to the catalog. So
I will
Krishna.
do that.
Yeah, I'll share the link for this issue in the chat. So yeah, cool. I hope Krishna will look after this PR and tell us what is going on. And should we consider merging it or not? Cool. I think there's only this topic remaining, and we still have 3 minutes. So I'll quickly cover these topics, which are basically we have a new site here. Just a minute. Yeah. So we have a new site stood up here at service mesh patterns.github.io, and this site is all about what service meshing is and how to start service meshing and how your organization can benefit from service meshing. And we are almost about done with this page till we make it go public and official, that is. Only thing we are missing is a patterns in action page. If anyone has a link to the Figma file, can you give it in the chat?
Yeah, I guess I have taken up that issue and I will be working on it this week. For the previous week, I was working on that issue, and today I will finish the changes, and maybe then I can start working on this issue.
Yeah, but we are still short of a design for the patterns in action page.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is why I decided to discuss about this issue here, that we need another volunteer. I believe Gotami is working on the patterns in action page and how to design it. But we need to move ahead with this. It's been 2 weeks since we are stuck at no design. So if anyone has their opinions on how the page should be, please consider helping Go to me. Go to me. Do you have anything to say? on
Why
this? Yeah, continue.
why the links are having a separate line? Why they are not in a single line? The navbar links.
I didn't get you. Sorry. What is your?
The links like book chapters and meet the authors.
Okay. What is the
Why
line
they
again?
are taking? Why they are not in the same line?
Oh, okay. Okay, the same line, because I think they are the word in itself, that those two words take a lot of space, I believe, or maybe it's because
Oh, you guys are talking about the menu.
oh no, yeah, it is like that by design. I thought it is because of my. He's talking about these two buttons, that why they're not in the same line. Why is chapters below the book? And why is author below these two words? He wants it in the same line, is what is saying is.
I
Like
think
if
that
you,
will take up a lot of space also if we keep it in the same line.
Yeah, Lee, you were saying something?
yeah, I think Arunima's point is kind of similar to what I would have said, and that's that, particularly when you consider that there would be at least one more page, or I think originally there might have been 5 pages, and maybe it's just a design of 4 right now. That, that on smaller screens it would be a bit condensed. That people aren't necessarily people are used to clicking on like buttons or single words when they go to menus generally. I mean, in sub menus, like, sure, a lot of times you have multiple words. Maybe you're on a shopping site and you're looking at the outdoor gardening department, like, multiple words. And so it's fine to have multiple words, but I think, I think that was part of the thinking behind the original. So there will be at least one more page forthcoming, which is like patterns in action, I think is the title of the page. And so if that's 3 words, there'll be a hyphenation between in action, patterns in hyphen action. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe the hover effect does a great job of indicating that those two are just a single section and not different sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hover effect looks familiar. Who did that?
And I believe the navbar was done by, if I'm not wrong, it was done by Kamal.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we are in need of a design for the patterns in action page, and I believe I don't see any other UXer on this call other than GoToMe himself. But yeah, we are in need of a patterns in action page, and it should happen soon. Cool, then. We are done with our agenda item, and we are 3 minutes over time as well. So if there's anything you guys would like to discuss, now is the time, or else you are good to go. Okay, there's no one. Cool. Then are we good to go? Are we good to end the meeting?
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, the other thing is that likely everybody has seen it at this point, but oh my gosh, the sun just came out. Is that there's a dark mode on Meshri.io. So there's light and dark mode. We were just looking at those, and Krishna had been toiling on that for quite some time. It's out. We'll have to go tell people about it. So it's not just that there's a light and dark mode, but there's also there's also any number of other changes. So there's quite an uplift on the site itself. It's pretty cool, something to be proud of for sure. We've got some work to be done in terms of, expressing Meshri's features. Meshri does a lot more than just service mesh centric management. And many of the screenshots are like a year more old. Meshery has advanced dramatically since then. So with this uplifted look, I think we're ready for some new content. We'll have basically a new site on our hands. Well, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Go check it out. Go check out Dark Mode if you haven't seen it yet. So
I believe you're talking about the animations, especially here, like a better video and better screenshots here and here.
yeah, they're pretty small, pretty dated. Yeah, it is, and so anyone's welcome to take those, to do those, especially if anyone has any capability with like Adobe Premiere or Adobe After Effects or whatever tool you want to use. But yeah, we have only one or two well done videos that weren't just straight screen recordings. And one of those is on Layer5io/Meshery. There's a feature trailer, so to speak, that's in the upper right-hand corner on that page. It's very short, but it is fairly well done. And this was done using Adobe After Effects. It's just trying to highlight different features, and there's a little bit of sound to it. So stuff like this is really helpful to the project. And there's templates that we have for Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects for videos like that, in case anybody's interested. Cool. Yeah.
Cool. I guess then we are good to go. Thank you for joining, everyone. And goodbye. Hope to see you next week.
Bye all. Thanks for hosting, Ishan.
Yeah, cool, man.